Hello friends, Arthur Woods here, and this is Communication 17009. Thank you for watching. Well, it's been fantastic up here in orbit and looking down at our beautiful planet below. I mean, it's just really, really gorgeous and so inspiring. I mean, you really see that our planet is a living entity and totally alone in the vastness of space. Well, it's just amazing. Yeah, well, it's a fantastic experience, and I just hope everybody will have that opportunity to experience the planet from this perspective, even if it's just for a few days or a week as a space tourist. This would be fantastic. Well, this is an update on our projects here. As you know, the Greater.Earth exhibition in the Art Biennale in Venice is underway. It's been going on now for a month, and we have an interesting video that shows about the Greater.Earth project, and also in an adjacent room next to us, I've made an installation of the EarthSeeds project, and there we have an extraterrestrial landscape where a seed from Earth has landed. It's pretty interesting when you look at it. And this is taking place in Palazzo Bimbo. And Palazzo Bimbo is located, well, let's look here on Google Map and you'll see it. It's located right next to the Rialto Bridge on the Grand Canal in Venice. So if you want to go there in the next few months, because the show is on until November 26th of this year, it's really, really easy to find. You can just take the Vaporetto from the train station and you can just get right off at Rialto, and there you are. Well, I hope you do that. And I think it's worthwhile because not only is the Greater.Earth on display there, but a lot of really excellent, beautiful other art projects from other artists. Well, I recommend it highly. Well, anyway, back to the EarthSeeds project, because this is part of our it's part of our Art Biennale exhibition. There's been some very interesting developments on our side, actually. Excuse me. We have reprogrammed the GEO-Political Observatory to start looking for information and articles that pertain to the EarthSeeds project. And just in a very short time, we already have several dozen articles online, and you can find these on the earthseeds.space website under resources, under headlines, and there you can see the latest stuff that's going in. And our satellite is sending the data stream both to this website and to the Greater.Earth websites, and there you can look either under the GEO-Political Observatory page, or you can go directly to the EarthSeeds page, and off to the right you will see a link to the data stream that pertains to the EarthSeeds project. And this is very interesting. I mean, I could talk about each of these articles in some depth, but just to very quickly look at the first group of articles. Earlier this year, it was reported that there is the global seed vault located in Norway, and I mean, this is very interesting because they wanted to have a one-to-one, let's just say they wanted to preserve humanity's seed stock, so in case there's a future catastrophe. And they selected this place in Svalbard, Norway, which is very, very far north, and it's always very cold and it's very isolated. So they thought this would be a good place to protect these seeds from any future catastrophe. And I think they just added another few million seeds to the vault just recently. But what happened is that things got a little warm and the vault flooded. And so they took some emergency measures there in order to save the seed repository. Well, you know, back in the early days of the seed project, back in the 90s, I proposed to put a satellite in space called the Millennium Seed, and this would also have an archive of seeds. And the idea there was that if necessary, the archive would re-enter the Earth's atmosphere and distribute seeds around the Earth in, let's say, in 5,000 or 10,000 years. This was the idea. So I think putting something off Earth is very, very practical because, as you see here in this very well thought out, highly supported project up in Norway, you can have problems, and I mean, it can be problems with humanity. It can also be problems with the climate. So, therefore, the idea of putting our future in space is very, very prominent. And to the same and to the same amount of urgency, the most recent article that was added to the EarthSeeds data stream was about the earthquakes in Yellowstone. Now, what has that to do with seeds? Well, actually, there is a supervolcano brewing under the Yellowstone National Park, and many scientists have researched this, and they say, you know, this volcano has erupted throughout history, maybe up to 3 times in a very major eruption. And right now, in the last 7 days, there's been something like almost 300 minor earthquakes taking place right around Yellowstone. And this is, for some scientists, this is an indication that maybe a really large eruption is becoming more possible and maybe even imminent. And now, what would that mean? Well, a supervolcano is much different than a typical volcano with its cone, and it looks like a small mountain that blows its top. A supervolcano maybe has a diameter of 1,000 kilometers, and it just really a huge amount of ash and dust are blown in the air if the supervolcano really does erupt. And that would be, of course, really, really bad for the people living in that part of the United States, because immediately they would be covered maybe with a meter of ash and everything. But for everybody around the world, even, or especially those living in the northern hemisphere, this would put a stream of dust in the sky that would block off sunlight, and that really means that our agriculture could be disrupted, and we couldn't produce enough food, and people would start to starve, and then you would have a real impact on our civilization, and this would not be very good. So that's another reason to actually think about why we should send EarthSeeds into space, because we want to protect life on the planet Earth here, but we want to perpetuate its survivability. And the only way to do that is to plant life into other places in space, and starting in our orbit, and then going maybe to the moon, and then to Mars, and even beyond. And then if life does get established beyond Earth and even beyond our solar system, then the chances are that it will survive forever, or much, much higher than they are today, contained on one planet. And so that's the purpose of the EarthSeeds project. And I mean, this speaks to the ultimate purpose of humanity in the scheme of evolution. And I think it's a very important thing to think about, and a very important thing to develop. Well, I'm going to share with you now, in case you haven't looked at it, a part of the Venice video that we have on display now, which pertains to the EarthSeeds project. And it's a little video of me actually leaving the region of Earth and going to Mars and planting some seeds on our neighbor planet. Well, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching. And this has been Communication 17009. Goodbye for now.